Today we're going to talk about pickup notes, which is relating to direction of the bow, and also talk about wrist and how that relates to a drill. I find that a lot of students at this point in the lessons, they use a little bit too much shoulder when bowing. So I'm actually going to show you guys a drill today that's going to help us relax our wrist to use more of the smaller muscles instead of the bigger muscles. So the drill I'm going to show you is what we call the quarter practice. So as you see here, I have a actual quarter. Now you can use pretty much any object for this drill, but notice that I'm putting it right on my wrist, and my wrist is flat. Now when I'm bowing, when I go down to this point, I always want my wrist to stay level. So when I'm coming down here, I'm level. Now right here is where we really start to emphasize using small muscles when we start to go up, because a lot of students, what they want to do is use too much shoulder. In that case, the quarter would fall when I go up. So what I want to do is actually bend it more to where now my wrist still stays level, my shoulder's not doing anything, and I'm just using my elbow, my wrist to keep the quarter level. So once you get used to doing the quarter drill with just your hand and not the violin or the bow, we actually want to start to do this while having the bow in the hand and the violin up. So what's really important right at this point is to keep the correct bow grip and stay relaxed. We don't want to grip the bow harder, just like we talked about in the last lesson. So I'm going to go down, and at this point my wrist is level, and now when I come this way is where I really want to bend. Now I don't want to move the elbow until I get to about here. It comes in a little bit, and then once I get to here it comes out, and then it levels out. The wrist comes back this way, up like this. So I want to be able to keep the quarter on my wrist while bowing back and forth. Notice right there is starting to go into kind of like a claw. So that's the correct motion. Now this would be incorrect. Somehow the quarter is still staying on my wrist. But as you noticed, I started to do this a little bit with my wrist, and I started to use a little bit too much shoulder, which was incorrect. So now that we've talked a little bit about technique with the wrist, we're going to now talk about bowings. So this is a down bow mark. And this is an up bow mark. So as you can see with a down bow, I started my bow at this spot and went downwards this way. And with the up bow, I went upwards this way. So these are the two bowings that we're going to see in violin music. So a lot of times with music, you're going to always start down bow for the most part. And then sometimes with what we call pickup notes, we're going to start going this way, up bow. So if you've ever gone to a symphony concert and seen all the violinists, they're all playing, moving their bow in the same direction. So this is kind of the training that we're starting to learn at this point that's going to apply later maybe to orchestra.